Good morning, Raj. How are you? Morning, folks. Hey, Donnie Lonigan. I'm going to do a quick little session here before I take off, and I'll be back on Wednesday. Um, yeah, I just wanted to make some observations and tell you guys what's going on. Um, Now, yesterday we had in the U.S. there was a ruling um, about whether or not the president could do these tariffs, and they ruled against it, and the market responded. So, and that's something that nobody could have foreseen, unless you were watching the court case, and I didn't even know that there was a case, which is, really kind of interesting. The timing for people who are short going into month end does not really help. The timing is horrible um, for people who are short. For people who are long, it's great because you've got, an unfilled gap right here. You've got a gap here. So you've got gap number one, gap number two, and you've got short positions all the way up. So if the market were to open here right now in RTH, you'd have another gap. Hey John, how are you doing? So now the thing to remember is this is how the market reacts on month end. Most people, yeah, yeah, the ruling against Trump constitutes another material change. Exactly. Now, none of this is sort of, if I look at the chart, and if I was a large trader or if I was a money manager, because this process could go through appeals, stuff like that, they'll still wait or they'll try to wait for a bit of a liquidation before they initiate size, especially at the end of the month. Your job today and tomorrow is to not blow up your accounts and lose a lot of money. Okay? Your job is to not make a lot of money today, not make a your job is to navigate month end, right? Month end is like when you bring the boat back into harbor. You don't want to crash it into the dock. Just month end is about saving all the money that you made all month and not doing anything crazy because obviously the market, anybody who is an experienced trader and sees multiple gaps in markets, gappy markets are not really stable, right? So all this drama over the last 2 months has created an aura of instability in our markets, which large money managers don't like. They don't like instability, right? Traders love instability. Money managers don't. So just be careful of getting too sucked into a narrative, is all I'm saying. And we want to see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the days that I'm away, what you want to see is whether this change is accepted and we go sideways. Okay? Big level to the upside is 60, 65. We already tagged 6,000 in the overnight. Hey, Moran, good morning. How are you? For scalpers and day traders, keep doing what you're doing. Remember, I told you a couple of days ago if the low of Tuesday did not take out 58.60, we would rotate higher. Now, I didn't know that there was going to be a court ruling, and I didn't know that the rotation would be so big. But that's how markets work. I'm going right after this. I'm going to do this session right now, Moran, because there was a big change last night, and my flight doesn't leave till a little later. So I thought I'd leave you guys with a session this morning so you're not completely in the dark. Give you guys hopefully some useful advice, right? Uh, and then disappear. So what you want to see is, do we come back and retest 5860? Right? That will take some time because we're going to have to take time to build up inventory to cause liquidation, right? So we'll see what happens. Be very, very careful trading this into month end, right? Just follow your setup, right? Always remember, what are the terms and conditions that we do business, right? And if those terms and conditions aren't met, you don't get my money, right? Be picky, be snooty about your money over the next couple of days, right? And this market is like it's really the Forrest Gump market. You never know what you're going to get. Um, it's funny because I was thinking, oh, it kind of closed down yesterday off of its highs. Maybe we'll have some liquidation this morning. And I don't know what. I got some news alert about this court case, and it ended up getting up again at 2 o'clock in the morning, looking at futures, and I was like, oh my god, hit 6,000. 59.20 close yesterday. You're up 94 points. It's really like a penny stock. Your job, if you choose to accept it, right, is to really manage your risk. Let's go over some levels to the upside. So 60.19 and a quarter, and then there are these swing highs here, or upper stops. And I'll put this in the room. But 60.65 is a big level, right? I would look for some selling once we get up there. That's a very big level, because what happens is, if we get over 60.65, then the next big level is 63.06. Those are my old COVID levels, which are quite large, right? To the downside, of course, the overnight low, our inventory is what, 99% long, 90% long in the overnight. Hopefully they get some kind of a correction. The big level to watch in the overnight, the first big level to the downside, 59.76. Why are we looking at 59.76? Because right there, that's where the fresh shorts are trapped. Right? That's where the fresh meat shorts are trapped. You can go and look at time frame. It's pretty funny. Right? These are the most fresh shorts, and then these, and then these, and then these. So as the market opened, people who are short here, and then there are people who are short here. You're talking time frames, right? So that's the overnight session, right? That's so 59.76. That's where, if we take out 76, I would call that a piñata low, right? Because if we take out 59.76, anyone who's long above it should fall out. What do I mean by fresh shorts? The latest shorts. See, there were people short here earlier on, and then they shorted here, and then here, and then here. So it's like these are the shorts from a couple of hours ago. These are the shorts from, maybe 6 hours ago. These are the shorts from 6.5 hours ago. It's just a time frame thing. Because you have different time frames of traders in here. So the freshest shorts are right here now. But this level here at 76, if you break that, that inventory should start coming out, and your target would be yesterday's high. Okay? Yesterday's high would be your target. If we don't get any selling, you could trade this back and forth, right? Because you have sellers at the overnight high, you have sellers here just underneath, right? No, it's not a double bottom, Raj. I don't think so. No. Pretty sure. Let me just check. Nope. It's the R low right down here at 59.16 and a half. So here you see your single prints. These are short positions that we were talking about. And right there, 59.76 and 3/4. That's what you're looking at. Now, J period always corrects inventory, right? Usually, 90% of the time. So inventory got too long. We corrected inventory. But look, we did not take out that A low as yet. So as we wait for London to open, we'll see if London can take out 59.88 half. If it can't, then it should just kind of go back and forth in this area here. Okay? And I got the balance levels for you guys. There you go. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I haven't even looked and seen how decent the price action. It's not bad. Speaking of time frames, since we are here, do you have other traders from way back when we were trading at the highs? No, I think most of that stuff Travis is gone. Because the liquidation, Travis, in normal instances, yes. But that liquidation was from 6,100 all the way down to 48.78. I'd say it would take, like, even if you were a massively long trader and we had a contract rollover. And remember, ES is a speculative instrument, right? Now, if it was a stock, yes, right? If it was a stock, you'd have more people trapped up there that were like longer term holders, right? Right. So I'm pretty sure it's the rate of the reclimb, Travis. The move back from 48.78 all the way to 6,000 has been so quick. I've never seen a move up that quickly, other than a stock that I've been manipulating personally. Like I've never in a quote unquote respectable white shoe market, right? I have never seen a move back up from the lows that is that quick. The only time I've ever seen a move like that is in a stock that I've been personally manipulating. Which would tell me that we flushed out everybody. Right? Think Think about just one contract, right? At $50 a point, say where you were long 6,000 and it dropped down to 49, 48, 78. That's a huge amount of dough, right? So, yeah, it was a good flush. It's a good question. Hey, JJ, another stupid question. No, there's no stupid questions. It's your money. Are overnight session profile POCs and stops significant on the RTH session? Yes, they are. They definitely are. And then once you trade through them, you can get rid of them. Yeah, the move up was like nothing ever happened. You know, it's like when somebody does something to you and then they go, oh, psych, just kidding, right? ES and NQ are both speculative, John. They're futures products. They're meant for hedging and speculation. Nobody buys ES and puts it away forever. They'd buy the SPY. Closing down the bar. William, that's cool. I miss working in bars sometimes. Well, I don't miss having guns pulled on me when I was a bouncer, but I do miss working in bars sometimes. Being up all night, being a night owl, that's always fun. Yeah, ES is a totally speculative product. NQ is a speculative product which is designed for retail traders who buy a lot of Red Bull and energy drinks. How are markets different since COVID? The It's a good question. Are you guys patient enough to listen? Do you guys really want the answer? It's about structure, right? Structure. Like when you build a house, the foundation, the first floor, second floor, markets are built on structure. Just like a company has a structure. The Apple, if you look at Apple, the structure of Apple, the way that deal is structured, is different than the structure of Palantir. So it affects how the stock trades, right? Our markets are structured in a very interesting way that I've never seen before in 33 years. And that way is, and this is really weird, so I'm just going to take you a little bit sideways here. So don't everybody fall asleep. The stock market had a way to generate revenue. In the old days, we would generate revenue with commissions. You guys would pay 12.5 cents a share to buy and sell a stock. That's an eighth, right? 12.5 cents was called an eighth. And nobody would do business for less than a kosher eighth. So if you were a broker and I was a broker, you would not dare undercut my commissions. We all charge the same commission. Got it? So if somebody bought 1,000 shares of stock, it's $125 in, $125 out. Right? They went from that to 16ths to 30 seconds. Then they went to decimalization. And then Chuck Schwab and Muriel Siebert came along with discount brokerage firms. And then started with the internet, and all the brokerage firms were like, how the hell are we going to make money? These guys aren't charging any commissions. Like $9 a trade. How the hell are we going to make money on that? You can't. So what they did was they switched the revenue generation model about 25 years ago from a commission-based revenue generation model to an asset gathering-based revenue generation model. So what they do is you give them your money, right? Every month you give them money and they charge you a management fee. That's how they make money. So the more assets they have under management, the higher the fees that they charge and the more money they make. Okay? So ever since interest rates went to zero, these massive companies, right? They will they'll just buy and hold. Then you had these asset managers like BlackRock, and they came along and started warehousing all the stock. So BlackRock, State Street, they each have 1 billion shares of Apple. Apple is lucky if it trades 100 million shares a day. So you could never sell all your Apple stock if you wanted to. They're holding that stock for 20, 30, 40 years. So we've locked up all of the stock. We allow people to speculate using cheap money, lower interest rates. And the business is geared that the people who hold securities get paid more and more as the price goes up. The other thing is if you listen to Scarf Guy, there's a guy, he's a macroeconomics guy. I actually started watching him because he was funny, not because I thought he was knowledgeable, but he is quite smart. His name is Raoul Paul. I call him Scarf Guy because he's always wearing some weird outfit. And he's pretty, he's ex-Goldman, sharp dude. All of that stuff, if you guys look at the holdings of Apple, and it's all institutionally held, that stuff's also held as collateral. So the price of the collateral can never go down. Otherwise, this whole thing falls apart. Now, the reason I know this stuff is because I grew up in the sewers of the penny stock world where you had to know how the clearing system worked because you would manipulate the stock according to things like T plus 2, T plus 3, settlement, uh, all of those things. That's the plumbing underneath the surface of the market. That's where my specialty is. Like if you need to hide a short position in Switzerland for a year, I'm your guy. Why would you need to hide a short position? Well, we'll get into that later, right? But all of those sorts of things are what I grew up doing. So I have a very, very different outlook, right? Very different outlook on the business because I'm a creator of product and a seller of it, where most people are just consumers, right? We create product and sell it to you, right? So there's a lot of different things, like Greg's talking about 2008, the mark-to-market thing. Also 2005, regulation SHO. You took the short and the retail short out of the market. So we've changed the industry. And what it does is it allows asset prices to keep going higher. The collateral that those prices are used for keeps going higher. Everyone gets paid more, so they're happy, right? And the big machine just keeps turning. Then every once in a while, we'll have something like COVID or this last disaster, right, of the last 2 months. And what they'll do is they'll flush all the margin players out, right? Anybody who bought any kind of stock on credit just gets beaten out of it, right? Just gets pummeled, right? So if you bought Apple on credit at 230 and they rip it down all the way to 170, right? Now, if you look at the move, and we did this after COVID, right? After COVID, there's something called a 13F. And that shows, and if you go to like a website like Whale Wisdom, they'll show you how much these asset managers bought and sold. After COVID, nobody sold any Microsoft, nobody sold any Apple, nobody. So we're like, holy crap. That's why we were telling people, be careful shorting the market after COVID. And what did it do? It made new highs. Because the large money managers who hold all the stock didn't sell any, right? Yeah, so I'm what they call a mechanic, right? In the old days, people would call me and say, "Okay, JJ, we've got three partners who are working on this deal. We each have 30 million shares of stock. Someone's selling stock behind our back, right? The price keeps going down. All three partners say that they're not selling. Can you help?" So I come in and I do a forensic analysis, right? And I'll find out who's selling the stock, where they're selling it from, what offshore account, where they're trading it through, where it's clearing, all of that stuff, right? So I do things like that, right? Sometimes a company will do a toxic underwriting, right? And then the company will call me and go, "Hey, how do you fix this? This guy's been giving us money, but he's taken our stock from $10 under a dollar. He keeps pushing our stock lower to get more stock, right?" So I'll work on something to clean that up and restructure the company maybe or whatever we need to do. So I fix broken companies, I engineer short squeezes, all of that stuff I learned in my career because I never had one retail client. I never had somebody who said, "Hey JJ, should I buy Microsoft?" My clients put 10 million shares of stock with me, split between three or four offshore accounts. They'd start promoting it. I'd sell into it. They'd call every day. How much did it trade? 10 million shares. How much did we sell? 2 million shares. Okay, see you tomorrow. Click. And that's the business I did. I was a wholesaler. I was a seller. So when you do that, you get a really intimate knowledge of how the system is built. S&P, I think S&P, you sat on the keyboard. Yeah, so, you know, can I tell you about why you hide a short position? I'm not really supposed to. uh, it was very common back in the day. Very common back in the day. Say, if you have a client who's financing a company, they'll short the stock before they give the company money, right? They short the stock and then they get the company to give them stock at a 30% discount to where they shorted it down to. That's, if you look at GameStop, that's what happened. Those guys were probably doing a financing. They were short the stock. GameStop told them to go pound sand, and somebody else took the other side of the trade. But we won't talk about that. It was pretty obvious. Sometimes the most obvious thing is what's going on, but nobody really wants to admit it. And that's how people get away with making billions of dollars and nobody even knows. So London's opening. Let's see if London can take out these lower stops. I'm interested to see exactly where our poor shorts are trapped. Our freshest shorts are trapped here at 90, then 89, then 88 half, then down here at 84. GME was a brilliant, brilliant misdirection. It's brilliantly done. That was a beautiful caper. How you doing, Moran? Hey, Howard. Remember, all these deals, everything is planned out before you guys even get exposed to it, right? Now, I'm not talking trading regular markets, but I'm talking stocks, right? People just don't randomly take stocks public and hope it works out. Markets are created and engineered to make you come in and buy, right? They need to convince you guys, you know, to come in and take down positions, right? Right now, there are three guys in a diner in New Jersey planning something out on a napkin. Let's see if these levels work. It was, Moran. I don't trade equities really anymore. I mean, if you got 5 million shares of a stock you want me to trade out, I'll be happy to do it for you. But I don't trade equities on a retail. I just like trading the same thing every day. You kind of get to know it. Now let's see if we get bids at 86. I don't even have my other Sierra chart open, so my trading account's not even open. It's pretty much the business never changes, right? We're just selling different product. Right, where's VWAP? So if you go to a market, right? Futures is one market. Some guy's selling fish, one guy's selling chicken, right? That's all it is. It's just different wares, right? The levels in the business and everything are still the same. Little look below and fail of 86 half. If you're long, you're looking for sellers right here. Yeah, just trade safe today, folks. You know, just, and here's something that people won't tell you. Your goal. Yeah, hey, poor Jeff. Oh man, I miss doing deals with New Yorkers in Long Island. Um, Here's what people won't tell you in any trading community. The true goal that you guys should have is to make all your money before the last 2 days of the month, like today and tomorrow, right? And the goal is to not even worry about month end, is just to take a nice 4 day long weekend every month. That should be your goal as a trader. Because I'm telling you something, large traders don't push their luck at the last couple of days of the month. They've made their money and they just kind of coast. You ever watch curling, when they throw the rock down the ice and the rock just kind of slides calmly. That's what you just want to slide through month end like a curling rock, right? Just nice and smooth, no drama. All your money is nice and safe and secure, right? Sorry, I'm from Saskatchewan, so curling is a big thing there, right? Can I talk more about GME? I could, Howard, but somebody will come and shoot me in the head if I do. There's a reason I don't show my face. When you sometimes it's dangerous to know too many things, right? In this business, sometimes too much information is not a good thing, right? Exactly, Johnny. Right. It is. It's like the pride of Port Jefferson. Where's what's his name from? Great Neck. GME is the pride of Great Neck, and I'll let you guys figure that out for yourself. Have a good one, William. No, not Wolf of Wall Street. That guy had his time. No, this was much more sophisticated. Um, yeah, there's that seller at 59.90. What's with the arbitrary 2 or 3 times risk reward? I don't know. I don't know. My risk reward is always based on, like, say I was doing a look below and fail, right? And I bought 87, 88. I'd have my stop here at 86, and my target would be 90, right? No, no, the market makers are not in charge of anything, Travis, right? Market makers just hand you the donut, okay? So, no, they just trade the order flow, right? So if you think of Wall Street, investment banking is where they create the product. Sales is where they go and sell the product, right? So they'll come up with a bond or a new stock or something, right? Because they always have to find something to sell you guys, right? So they'll sell it to the bank that you keep your account at, and they'll try and get the bank to buy a product, right? So investment banking creates the product, sales sells the product, right? And trading, Travis, are and market makers and traders are the truck drivers that drive the semi tractor, right? That take the Kenworth, fill it with product, and drive it to the store where you buy it. That's how Wall Street works. Institutional traders are just glorified truck drivers. We just move the product along the highway to you. Hey, nice work, William. Way to pass your eval. Great. Nice work. Yeah. So investment banking creates it, sales sells it, whips up demand, like marketing, and the traders, we're the blue collar guys of Wall Street, right? The traders are the blue collar part. The investment bankers are the guys who went to Harvard, Yale, right? Wharton, Exeter, right? They have names like Skip, right? right? So those are the guys, they're with the polo shirts with the collar up, country clubs, right? We don't get to hang out with them, right? The traders are the blue collar, sort of the working class, the guys who move product. Now they've taken that and they've automated it. So most trading is all automated, and there's a couple of people there to supervise just in case the machines need to be rebooted. Because algos are much more efficient, right? They do what they're told, right? You don't have to bail them out of jail at 3 in the morning. You know, you don't have to send them to rehab. Hey, listen, I think I've been at the only wedding where you had two market makers got married and they both got arrested that night of their wedding and they spent their wedding night in jail. Now, what kind of wedding does the bride and groom end up spending in jail? That's the way traders used to be. Trading is hard work, Travis. What you wanted to do is you want to be an investment banker. That's where you get to wear the $10,000 suit, right? You got 3 or 4 assistants. Go to the country club, shake hands, do deals. That's different. We traders, we never get away from the work. That's pretty much it. Man, look how slow it is now. Me, I like to work. I don't mind it. I've been doing this 33 years and I've either been in trading or promoting or structuring, investor relations, financing, marketing. I'm always around the market. I've never not worked around the market in my whole adult life. Wow. And I think the ES just turned itself off. Overnight POC moved down, right? So we moved the POC down from the 98s down to 89. So we're getting some absorption. We're not taking out that stop at 84 and a half. What else is there to say? Let's see if we can take out that stop. Come on now. We need some liquidation. We got a bunch of thirsty shorts underneath 59.82. Let's free the shorts. Thanks, John. Get some rest. We'll chat when I get back. Boy, might be a bit of a long night here, or morning. I'm really glad I'm escaping this month end. I usually don't get to do that. The only reason I'm ever around on month end is because of you guys. If I had it my way, I'd just turn off the computer. You're welcome, William. You're welcome. Yeah, you know what, William? If I'll be doing another mentoring class if you're interested when I get back. So reach out. I sent you a DM, Ren. Yeah, just for a couple of days. I have this rapid heartbeat thing, and sometimes I'm on this waiting list for this surgery, this what they call an ablation surgery, and to fix this electronic pathway in my heart. But when I'm overtired and overstressed and stuff like that, I it tends to happen more and more and more. So every once in a while, I've got to take a few days off, and it's nice because when you're in the UK, you can fly to Europe for like $50. It's so cheap. Oh, you're an actor out of Atlanta, the ATL. I have a cousin who lives near Stone Mountain. I've never been. I've always wanted to check out Atlanta. Yeah, just DM me on X, William. Yeah. Yeah, it's $750 to fly from Kamloops to Vancouver. Yet I can go to Paris for like $30. Just, I mean, sure, it's you know, it's kind of like a cattle car, but it's only a couple hours, right? It's not that bad, right? It's not first class or anything, like 30 or $40, but they get you there. I don't know what's wrong with Paris. I've been once. It was nice. People were friendly. Mind you, I speak French, so it helps. Uh, yeah. Well, folks, it looks like we're stuck in this little. We're going to need more time. We're just kind of in this little rotation right here. And really, we want to see if 84 and 82 hold. What will be interesting is as people start waking up in the States, like what time is it now? It's 3:30 in the morning. in New York. It's going to be interesting to see as people wake up how they're going to react to this move. I mean, do they sell it down? Do they just sit and watch? Right? A market being up like this over the today is month end, tomorrow is the last trading day of the month. So it's always it's going to be a little bit like one of those murder mysteries. We'll see what happens. The main thing for you guys is to not lose any money today, right? That's the biggest thing. If we creep over, you see those two tops there? Let's see if they sell into it. See, the offer is up there. Oh, someone took the offer. Nice. Oh, thanks, William. See how that seller, those sellers that 91, they stepped in again? That's why it's just kind of convenient when you have a candle chart. You can just look at the tops of the candles on the way down. And when we go back up, there's a good chance that the sellers will reinitiate at those levels. Now, how do I know this? Well, because I used to be that seller, right? That had to compete with other sellers. So that's why I know. And secondly, you sit and watch, right? And of course, everything I tell you, right? Sit and watch and see if it works or not, right? And if it doesn't work, get rid of it, right? Thanks, William. Yeah, I'll definitely look into that. Thank you. And how do we use that in a practical way? Well, say we were long at 87, 88, and we got up over 90. You know there's going to be a 91 seller. Maybe sell here before you get taken out of your profits, right? Yeah, we definitely need to look after our health, especially in this business. Well, folks, any other questions? No? All good? Starting to find some bids. Okay, so we have bids at 85 right there. Yeah, if the price hits that high, right? See how it came? It came in here. William, that's just practice. We'll work on that. That's all it is. It's just getting your brain and your eye to be in sync. That's all that is. It's like remember when we were kids, you'd play that game where you saw like a yellow Volkswagen and you'd punch each other when you saw it, and then all you see are yellow Volkswagens. Once you start looking for these balance zones, as soon you immediately will get, your eyes will get drawn to it. So, oh, getting back to the seller, right? So if you know they're going to initiate there, see how they just let it above that level for one tick and then sold back into it. The reason is if I was a seller here and there and there and there, when the price gets back up, I am going to take advantage of that and sell into it. Now, if I see a lot of buyers, I will lift my offer just like they're doing now, right? So when you go over and you review, and the beautiful thing about this, on Sierra Chart, we have something called chart replay, right? And you can go back and you can replay the chart, right? And you can replay the chart and it shows how the market, when it comes up, and you can play it at, like here, this is 10 times speed, right? And if you watch, you can see how the market reacts, right? It doesn't matter what time, William. Give me an email. We'll work on that. See how we came up to that and the seller stepped in and there's that space between the white line and the top of that candle? That's front running. Okay? Then the seller sees buyers and they lift that offer. See how they lifted that offer to take advantage of the buyer? And then they start selling and competing again. So this way you can play and pause your charts. It's a great tool. I think most software has it now, right? And I like this because you can play it back at 10 times speed. Next place is going to be here, right? See how they're front running it? The way I did this was I was living in Saskatchewan for 5 years looking after my mom before she passed away. And it was like there was nothing to do. So, and it was like minus 40. So I got in a lot of screen time. And every day after the close, I would replay the chart and make notes. Replay the chart and make notes. And I found that helped a lot because you'll see a lot of this stuff repeat itself. And that's it for me, folks. Thank you very much for being with me. We will see you on Wednesday. I'm not sure what time I come back, but I'll do a session whenever I get back. And be safe out there, okay? You know, it's going to be a weird month end. So just remember, one hand on your wallet, head on a swivel, okay? Thanks, everyone. Appreciate you guys. See you in a bit. Bye for now.